This is called in the Mythology of Foxes. The fox's blood on the stone still there 2 days after staring at me. Only the day before, a daring raider of my uncle's henhouse, the talk of our household. But my uncle was patient and stalked the lonely hours until the fox came to meet her death, thinking only of her cubs and how big and bright the moon loomed tonight, and how the fearful thunder of the gun had ended everything, and how now, shot through the head, her carcass thrown behind a hedge, she finds herself still staring back into the mind of the little boy, even more aware of her presence now that nothing exists, and how forever after the boy carries her death, cradling it in his mind, trying to comfort her with his human tears. He was a very holistic little kid, and I didn't make a distinction between animals and birds and me. We were all living in the same moment, so when it was my first time when something left that moment, and I couldn't handle it. This is about me leaving the church, which I did when I was 9. I think I see what has happened. There's been a terrible mistake. And so I go to talk it out with him. You know, boy to God. I tell him to rewind time, surely not such a big thing for a God to do. Yes? And where my sister's debt is, put her back and me there. A straight, no-nonsense swap. A life for a life. And if there has to be a debt, then I explain as best I can, as if talking to a little child. I'll die in her place. It all seems so simple. Deal? I can't see a problem. The problem is God acts as if he isn't there. And although I've dealt with him fairly and squarely, he doesn't even deign to reply, and just leaves things as they are, as if he doesn't care. This is not how I want it. I curse him to hell, incandescent with rage, white-hot anger. Call yourself a God, a good God. I spit the words at him. Then I turn my 9-year-old self away from him. We don't speak ever, ever again. I leave the church. Dónall has left the building. The chair wanted to read the poem, and now it's got stage fright. And he says, "Can I read it for him?" So this is a storybook, so you can all just tuck yourselves in. This is called "What the Cat Don't Want to Hear, the Cat Don't Hear." And it's the only begetter of these ensuing lines, Mr. ASJ, who's done a version of this, and he does it better than me. And he'd done it before I'd done it, so I don't know how to do this except in how he's done it. The chair, like the room it was living in. The day before it was living in a shop, only one of many such chairs. Now it had its own room. Indeed, it was the only chair there. It even had its own desk. Yet the desk was full of its own self-importance, and it only indulged in the usual polite conversation about how far or near one should be to it. The chair was rather proud of the cloud of unknowing that lay open upon it on page 144. The desk was profoundly jealous of it, whereas the chair actually took pleasure only in the mere fact of its mistress's posterior. A mirror slightly to the side allowed the chair to look out upon a garden who talked continuously about the weather. A lawn ran down to a flint-faced wall, and beyond the wall's flint-facedness lived, so the chair believed, the world. The chair, even if it had to say so itself, and human voices agreed with its opinion that it looked extremely elegant. The chair enjoyed being a chair. The only thing that irked was the cat, whose habit it was to doze upon it when the humans left the room. "Shoo, shoo," the chair cried out in deep despair, but the cat either did not speak or pretended not to understand what was said to it.
Dempsey, thank you very much.